You're listening to Wet Shaving Talk, powered by Sharpologist.com, where we're dedicated to preserving the art and skill of classic shaving. I'm your host, Joe Borrelli, and today is September 17th, 2025. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. And when I was saying September, I almost said April. I don't know why I was thinking April, but whoa. So guys, really glad to be bringing back this podcast after a few weeks being out. And I'll let you know what's going on. I am on not a brand new computer. Recently this year, I purchased a used MacBook Air, right? And I bought it for my work and just to have a small laptop to bring around. And it's I got it used. I got it refurbished or whatever on Amazon. And I was a little skeptical at first, but I heard they were really good. It had good reviews, so I decided to purchase one. And I now I've switched the podcast to it. So this is the first podcast I'm doing on a new computer in probably about 6 or 7 years since I got my other laptop. And I am going through the glitches and stuff. So that's kind of one of the reasons I'm using the same stuff that I had, the same program that I used to use to record. It took a little bit of getting used to it and trying to figure out how to set it up. I am, just to let you guys know, there's a reason why I'm a wet shaver. I am not the most savvy with tech. I know Mark for Mantic, he is very tech savvy. He's very good at that stuff. I am just not there yet. I am just not, I'm not one of the computer connoisseurs. I can do a lot of business applications and make Excel and do that. So I would say my skill level on, Windows and MacBook and all that stuff would be probably about intermediate to if not novice. I am very good with Salesforce. If you ever have a question on Salesforce and how to operate Salesforce, that application for anything at work, I'm very good with that. I do that at work every day, and I can actually navigate that very well. But I have an intermediate knowledge of computers. So I'm just learning how to do this. So if it doesn't sound the same, hopefully it sounds better. It sounds pretty good to me. If it sounds a little different, let me know. I will definitely, adjust it and fix it. And, there's going to be some glitches here and there, but I'm pretty sure that this will work out really well. It took me a few minutes to figure out the microphone. So I had a few issues there, but I figured it out and I got it going. So really, another thing, guys, I've been a little bit out. I've been a little bit busy. Is I have, I guess you could say one of my other hobbies is, you guys know my hobbies. I like watches. I like, of course, wet shaving, right? I really do love that kind of stuff. And I think one of my other hobbies, I'm sorry, just to kind of think about it, was I do have a Mustang that I've had for since 2001, since I was turned 18. So I've had it for a very long time, and it's been with me everywhere I've gone. I've had other cars and stuff, but for some reason, I bought this car when I was a kid, and I worked on restoring it, and I've been working on it lately. So I've been doing a lot of work to it, and it's been taking up a lot of my time. So I've been trying to get it fixed. Talking to my wife recently, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm either going to sell it or I'm going to fix it up and finally get it to drive it. Now, I used to daily drive the car and drive it every day for years, but it's been sitting in my garage. I do start it up every week, and I do have a decent amount of mechanical knowledge. Now, when it comes to cars, my father was a mechanic, so I learned at a very young age when a lot of people were doing certain things. I was working with my dad and learned a lot about cars, so I've acquired quite a bit of tools, and I do most of the work on our cars at home. So it was the time, so I've been starting to do that. So that's taken up a little bit of my time. And, of course, working on little things here and there, they can take a lot. And then you think that you only have a few things to do, and then you have a lot. So, and it turns into be a big, big, big job, and then takes some time to do. So, just doing that adulting thing, I guess, and then trying to get all my stuff. I just hate things just sitting around not being used and not being 100% usable. When I drive a car, I love all the options working. So if something breaks, I try to fix it. Like, example, if a window doesn't go up, I'm going to fix the window just because if I have it, I want it to work. I guess that's just the way I am. I'm the same way with wet shaving as well. So, if I have something, I want it to work. If I have a razor that doesn't have blades, example, my one blade razor is out of blades, so I have to go order some blades now. Otherwise, I feel like it's just sitting there doing nothing. So that's just a little bit what's happened in a nutshell, and that's why I've been very sporadic with posting on the podcast. So I'm sorry to give you guys all the small talk, and maybe it's a little boring, but that's just what's going on. And I'm really glad to be back into doing this with a new computer that seems to be working. So cross my fingers that I am able to do this take and not have to do it again, or I don't lose the recording or something like that. So I'm really hoping I don't. If you're hearing this, then you know that I didn't. So wish me luck, guys, with this. I'm sure that I'll be able to figure it out, and I'll spend some time on it in the next few weeks. But today on the show, very important, we've got fall in the air. That's right. Summer is just about over. We're a couple days away from fall, officially fall. And, that's the best season for wet shaving, I think. And I'll tell you why in the notes during the show. Badger and Blade celebrating 20 years of being there, right? They've been around for 20 years this past August, and I have got a little special treat for you guys. I have the first thread posted in the show notes, so you can go take a look at the first one that when they opened the forum up in 2005. Collector series. So we've got a collector series razor, not razor this week. It is called Rooney Shaving Brush. That's right. We are going to talk about a very classic shaving brush that is unfortunately no longer in production, but for the little that we do know about this company, I'll tell you what I do know and why they're good, and we give them a wet shaving talk salute. And of course, it's that time of the year again. The fall season special is coming up this October. You don't want to miss it. I've already started working on it, and I will have a really good show for you guys this year for the 10th anniversary of the fall seasonal special. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. So guys, fall is in the air. I'm so excited. Why is fall so exciting for you newbies out there? Fall is the number one season for wet shaving products. That's right. Seasonal products come out this fall for Halloween, and it is always a great show. I'm telling you guys, you're going to really enjoy it. If you're new and you like, Halloween, and that's one of your favorite holidays. I love Halloween. I love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving. I love this time of the year. And this is the way to kick it off. So fall is in the air. Once you start seeing those, in Florida, once you start seeing those snowbird cars coming down, those car carriers coming, the fall is here and it's time. So for the rest of you out there, once you start seeing the leaves change, that's when a fall is in the air. And when you start seeing some of these soaps coming out, soap scents, like you're going to have stuff that smells like apple cider, stuff that smells like pumpkin spice. I mean, there's so many out there. I'm so looking forward to bringing out my fall stuff. I always wait for the first day of fall to start using those fall seasonal items just because I want to really enjoy the season. I know a lot of guys use them all year round, or they use them, during the summer, but I like to wait and just make it so I use it once a year and really enjoy it. Badger and Blade celebrating 20 years. Guys, this is huge. An online forum, 20 years, and they're still here, right? Still holding a well over 50,000 members at any given moment, even when they do their purges when they have to go through that. Besides that, Badger and Blade, besides Badger and Blade, you have Straight Razor Place, which has been around just a little bit longer when they started off as a Yahoo group and then went to the forum route as well. So Badger and Blade, we salute you, a wet shaving salute, because you've been around, not really so much giving us so much of the information, but making a way for us to meet friends and really spread the word of wet shaving cheer through all aspects of life, right? You go in there. I could tell you guys, I've been a member of Badger and Blade since 2011, and it's gotten, a lot of people don't like the forums, and I get it because they're very biased at times or subjective. They won't let you post certain things, certain vendors, and I understand. But for me, when I was in college, I went to college very late. If you know my story, won't get into it. But I went to college in my mid-20s, and I remember when I was getting beat up at school, and not beat up, not like bullied or anything like that. No, I wasn't getting beat up. I was talking about beat up with work and just really struggling and trying to get through and trying to pass. It wasn't that easy for me. I'm not one of those genius people that got straight A's. I got A's because I literally killed myself to get them. But I used to go on Badger and Blade, and it would so give me such a break. And I would look at wet shaving, and I was relatively new at it at the time, very new at it. And I would love just reading about Gillette toggles and bottom dials and straight razors and talking and participating and learning about it. And it was just such a great time for me. I can still remember right now sitting in the school library, going on Badger and Blade, taking a little break from my work, and just going in there and just searching and just reading and just responding or hoping that I put a post in, and it couldn't, because at that time we didn't have it linked to the phone. So I would just go and look and see if I got a notification on there, and oh wow, so this person answered my thing, and at the time, I had so many nice members on there would send me stuff, because I would say, oh, I'd love to try that, but at the time I just didn't have the funds, and they're like, oh, I'll send you one, I'll send you a sample or something. It was just such a great area to be in, and when you go through a tough time like going through school and stuff, it's good to have. It was really nice. So Badger and Blade, we salute you. For 20 years of service, and probably another 20 years. And guys, looking forward to seeing some really good content coming out of there, and also the other forums as well. Another really a thing that I wanted to mention a little bit was, and I didn't say it in the intro, but I want to say it now. Do you get a better shave with 2 days of growth? This is something that I've heard a couple people mention, and I too feel sometimes I get a better shave with 2 days growth. Now, I'm a daily shaver. I shave every single day except on Sundays sometimes, right? Or Saturdays usually. Sundays I usually shave because I go to either, maybe I'll go to church or something. I want to look good. But I usually take 1 or 2 days off a week. But for the most part, I'm usually off on Wednesdays from work, and then I'm off on Sundays. So I usually don't shave those 2 days a week maybe. And I always notice that if I shave the day after, it always feels a little cleaner. And sometimes when I shave, it's not 100% smooth as if I waited. Same thing for you guys that are head shavers. If you shave your head every single day, it seems like you might miss spots here and there. But if you do it every 2 or 3 days, I don't know. For some reason, maybe it's just because it was longer. But I think there's a scientific reason why. The little bit more, I guess, length of your beard or hair, it makes the blade it makes it easier to cut. It cuts the hair a little bit easier and can get a little better. I think if it's just a little stubble at times, the blade, you really have to dig in and use some pressure. And I don't do pressure, so that's why I notice it's not as smooth. So that's if I go to a barber and I'm going to go get a shave, I usually don't shave for like 3 or 4 days, just because I want to get a really close shave and feel really good. And I think that's definitely the fact. I've been seeing people post on a couple of forums about this, and on Facebook as well, saying, hey, I get a better shave if I let it go for a few days. And I think that's true, because it gives the whiskers a little bit longer time to grow. And I think the shorter they are, the stronger they are, right? If you get like a little curl out of them, or they start getting longer, you got a little bit more cutting edge there. So you're not just getting the top of it, you're getting the whole haircut. And that's why it goes back down to the skin. That's why you get a better shave. Now, if you are doing a daily shave and you want to just go one pass, you're going to notice it more so than if you waited 2 or 3 days and got a little growth. But if you're doing a 2-pass shave, the first pass you're not going to get as much as you usually do, right? But if you go against the grain or across the grain, you'll get the same amount, because you're still going just as deep in. So that's what I think. That's what I've seen since I've been wet shaving, and I'm gonna stick to it. So if you have any other ideas, or if you've noticed the same, or if you don't notice the same, let me know in the email. Send me an email, joe.wetshavingnews@gmail.com. Collector series. Okay, guys. So this is a collector series that there's not much on this company, to be completely honest with you. It is Rooney. Rooney is a shaving brush company that was around as far back as 1796 is the first records that we see on it. Unfortunately, in the 1800s, there was a fire, so they lost most of their records. But from some people have found stuff linking it back that far. In England, of course, it was in the UK. And they shut down, I guess, around 2012 to 2015 in that area, shut down permanently. So it was a very secretive company where they really never had a website. They never showed any information or shared information with anybody. And they never sold directly to consumers. And they had limited interactions with their vendors. So it was really a close-knit company. I know that the last person working for them that was tying knots for that company or was head of it was Lisa Beanie, which Lee was, a lot of people talk about him as a modern-day brush tyer, best one out there. And nobody that I know has ever met him or have ever really seen him. So I've heard rumors where he used to hand tie all the Rooney knots. Then he went to M&F and they worked for them. Now he did some Paladin brushes as well back in the day. There's a lot on that. And I have a brush that apparently he tied, but also I've heard from people that actually were in the area, worked with him, said that he had a team that did it and he didn't really do them. So I'm not too sure what to believe, but I do know this. Rooney brushes were really well made, and if you're lucky enough to have one, I wish I had one, I don't. I had one way back in the day, about 2010, 2011, when I first started wet shaving, and I sold it or traded it for a Paladin brush, which I kind of regret because Paladin brushes were made for a lot longer, and I never knew because Rooney was such a staple, I didn't think it would ever be gone. But they're gone, and they're away with the dodo. But if you look on eBay, you can definitely find a couple of new old stock ones. They were selling a ton of them back when they first closed down, and I really wish I picked one up. Even though they were expensive, it's well worth it. It's a lifetime brush if you get one. You're definitely going to hold on to it forever. But very secretive company, not too much information on them, very limited interaction with people that they worked with. And, well, I would say the value on these would be anywhere from $300 to $500, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But for the most part, that's what you're looking at, $300 to $500 in value. So we do salute you, Rooney. Collector Series, you are a collectible item now. I never thought I'd say that. But if you guys do have one, or if you're looking to acquire one, I highly recommend them. They're really good brushes. So we've got the fall seasonal special coming up now. For those of you that just started listening, this may even be your first show, but if you've been listening for this year and you haven't been around too long, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The fall seasonal special is the longest, biggest show of the year for this podcast. Been doing it for 10 years, right? This is the 10th one. And I spend roughly 40 hours to 50 hours of work on it. So it takes me about a month to build it. And I go through hundreds of wet shaving websites, right, and vendors and suppliers and all that stuff. And I always find new stuff every year that I might have missed or whatever. And I also like to salute some of the past releases, some of the better ones. So, example, you have the Holy Black does a really big deal every year. Phoenix Arson Accoutrements, they do a big deal every year. You have also Sterling does great. You have Barrister and Mann with their annual releases, and a couple of other companies that used to do really big releases that may not be with us anymore, but are definitely going to get mentions this year. So it's really fun. So that's why when I tell you save your money, save your budget for this time of the year, I mean it, because these are the best items you will be able to get. Now you have a lot of great releases. Some of them come with swag. They come with, brushes. They come with razors. Sometimes you can get a t-shirt, really cool stuff. So highly recommend, guys, looking into the fall items, watching this show. It's always the show right before the last show of October. So I always do it right before Halloween, just because I want to give those vendors enough time. And I want to give you guys the wet shaving community, maybe something cool to listen to on Halloween on your way to work or way home, hopefully. So I'm really looking forward to that show. It is my favorite time of the year. Again, like I said, guys, I really have fun doing the fall items, and you're going to have a lot of fun using them this year too. So hopefully you get to get a few items and you get to try it out. So, well, guys, I apologize for cutting it a little short this week. Again, I went through some technical difficulties and I'm really working on it. So making sure that I get this new setup done right and sounds good. I'm going to adjust the settings a little bit and see how it sounds. So just doing a couple. This is the trial run, and then you guys will be able to see. I guess the final by the fall seasonal special, I should be 100% ready by then. So remember, guys, our show is powered by Sharpologist.com. What your father didn't teach you about shaving. Special thanks to you guys, the listeners, of course, for week in and week out. Without you, there'd be no podcast. And of course, Mark Mantic59 for everything that he does with the wet shaving community, and that he's got a new website too for drinking for black coffee, the Black Coffee Life. The link is in the show notes if you haven't checked out that site. Don't forget to check out my website, shavestraightandsafe.com. Always feel free to contact me at joe.wetshavingnews@gmail.com. And if you haven't checked it out, if you're looking into straight razors, check out my book, The Modern Guide to Straight Razor Shaving, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Pasteur's Pharmacy in New York. Well, guys, if you're also interested in doing a sponsored, episode. I was something that I was going to bring up too in the near future. If you have a vendor and you have an item you want featured, hey, let me know about it. I will definitely mention it on the show. I love new items. And if you have anything that you need help with, let me know as well. I will be back in 2 weeks, guys. So until then, shave straight, shave safe. Bye-bye now.